Welcome to the Canyon Side Cages podcast, where we talk to coaches and players about everything baseball. Today's guest, James Loney, 10-year Major League veteran, spent most of his time with the Dodgers and the Rays, a lifetime average of 284, 1,400 plus Major League hits, 100 plus home runs. To highlight his career, he really had two amazing games that we'll talk about. His 4-for-5 game with 9 RBIs against the Rockies, and his grand slam in the NLDS against the Cubs in 2008 against Ryan Dempster. We'll also talk about his time in Korea, some of the things that he was thinking about in his 2013-2014 season, and he's going to give some advice to you young hitters that you can take away. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoy. 10 years in the bigs, bro. It's like, what a good you had an amazing career.
Thanks.
What was Korea like, bro?
No, Korea was fun, man. It was, good energy there, passionate fans, good play. We faced a lot of good competition. So I'd say overall it was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm curious, if you had to change, your style of hitting at all, because of there's so many different pitchers, styles, a lot of side armors.
Mm-hmm.
They throw a lot of different off-speed stuff. Did you have to make any adjustments over there? Because the pitch
over
style?
there, they did, a lot more off-speed, a lot of split fingers, and, not as many hard-throwing guys in the, mid-90s, but they make up for it with their off-speed stuff.
That's cool. Was that the toughest pitch you saw over there? That's the split finger?
Yeah, I'd probably say so, and that's just the pitch you saw most frequently, in any kind of count, any situation. And there's some guys that had some pretty good ones. They'd fall off pretty good and make them look like strikes. So
totally. Yeah, I mean, yeah. And you faced plenty of side armors in your career. It was probably, a submarine guys was probably seeing a little bit more angles and different off-speed movement more than that everyday major league guy. So yeah, that was my first question was, was your power in Korea? I saw you hit 3 home runs. It didn't look like you played, a ton of games.
Mm-hmm.
But was the power there still when you were facing some guys that were still, kind of moving it around and cutting the ball and slowing it down a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I think I played over there for about 3 weeks. So, overall, I felt comfortable. I felt good. Situations a lot of times dictated kind of what pitches you were going to get. Certain off-speed pitches and stuff like that.
Right.
But fields, a lot of the fields were pretty small except our field. But overall, I would say it was, probably more. I'd say most of the fields were geared to the hitter.
You played for a pretty popular team, the LG Twins. Is that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're as far as the fan base goes. I mean, how does that work when a guy comes from playing baseball in the major leagues to in Korea? Are you considered a star immediately? Does everyone kind of attracted to you? How'd that work out?
Yeah, I think most people knew. They just knew following from the teams I've been on here, and they know everything about baseball over there.
Yeah.
They're playing drums in the stands, blowing whistles, dancing. So it's a big party for them, and they they definitely have the knowledge and just the passion.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's such a cool experience for you. Your last season or your last 2 seasons in 2013 and 14. I mean, you just had amazing seasons in the major leagues. You had 299 in 2013. You had 13 homers, 75 RBIs. In 14, you had 174 hits.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about those seasons a little bit, and in terms of your daily routine, your consistency? I mean, it takes a certain type of hitter to be able to have 175 to 200 hits in a year. Can you speak on anything that you remember specifically from those years in terms of your consistency and stuff?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was getting your body ready every day and getting prepared in that situation, because it's a long season, so you want to stay healthy. And the biggest thing for me was going out there with the confidence, not caring who was out there, whether it was a Cy Young Award winner or the best closer in the game. Just going out there each and every day and being like, no, I belong here. They gave me a jersey for a reason. So,
Yeah.
In every at bat, knowing that, I can do this.
Yeah, in terms of like your daily routine, was there anything that specifically you remember doing that really dialed you in every day? Some hitters are different. You had an amazing ability to hit the ball to all fields with high average. Was there anything that you remember that you did every day that kind of helped you maintain your swing?
I did like starting on the tee pretty much every day and moving it around, up, down, in, out, middle. I liked moving it to probably about 10 different locations and just working on, where that ball's at. And then I would, move into certain things like, short toss, and I would have coaches throw to me overhand, and we would do some machine work, with breaking ball. So I would say a combination of all that, just getting you ready, because, it's hard to simulate the game in practice. So just trying to do the best I can before.
So you stuck to the same routine every day, and it kind of worked for you. That's what I'm trying to get at, and help the viewers with.
I pretty much stayed with the same thing. Obviously you have day games some days, and the timing can be off a little bit, but
right,
getting enough work in to feel confident, that you're ready.
Awesome. During those 2 seasons, was your pitch selection? I mean, I've heard David Ortiz talk about staying in his zone, and was your pitch selection those 2 seasons? Because you had 170 hits with the Dodgers before, and would you say that as a result of having a good strike zone and a good pitch selection and a good approach that allowed you to kind of be consistent also?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I think another big thing is even with 2 strikes, not having any fear with 2 strikes, still feeling like I'm in control, and being confident in those situations. And I felt like my average, was pretty good with 2 strikes, over my career. Mm-hmm. So I think that a lot just throughout the whole year.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's definitely was fun to watch you hit with 2 strikes. I mean, we got a chance to work with each other a little bit at the end of your career with the Rays, and got to see you when you're with the Mets a little bit. Tell me about some of the toughest pitchers you faced and why they were tough for you.
I remember early on in my career, I remember Barry Zito. He was tough for me. He would just kind of like flick the ball in there. He didn't throw as as hard as some other guys, but he just kind of made it look like that, just kind of sneaky for me. And I faced Mariano Rivera. I got 1 hit off him, which I can say, I think I'm 1 for 2, but it was a blooper. But the way his cutter moved was like nobody else's. So
right.
I'll probably say those 2 guys were the toughest.
So would you say that that's what gave you the most challenge, as a lefty curveball, or maybe something with movement, that looked like the fastball?
Yeah, I'd probably say the cutters are probably the toughest pitches, and a good changeup, because they're harder to pick up sometimes, and they have really late movement.
Totally.
So if guys could execute those pitches, you see Kenley Jansen throws a cutter probably 90% of the time, and nobody really hits him. So that just shows you how tough a pitch it is to hit.
Yeah, he was your roommate at one point when you were with the Dodgers, right? And I remember you, or at least I'm seeing a tweet of you, mentioning about how he was going to be the next Mariano Rivera, and boy, your prediction came pretty true, man. He's an absolute force on the mound, to close games.
I think he may even have a chance to be better than Mariano just because of his height. And the way he just gets on hitters, the arm angle and everything else, and the speed, So looking forward to watching him for many more years.
Yeah, totally, man. Well, just a few more questions. These are more geared towards approach. Did your approach change later in your career? You were with the Dodgers for 6 years, and then your next longest, tenure with the team was with the Rays. Did you have an approach change early, as opposed to when you were a young hitter? I'm thinking that there might have been something different with all the at bats that you got throughout all the years. There might have been something that you could key the guys in on that you used maybe later in your career. I don't know. I'm just kind of curious if it was different.
Yeah, I mean, there have been times. I remember in earlier in my career, probably didn't have too much of an approach. Just go up there and kind of hit. And as I got older and knew the pitchers a little more, my big thing was I would try to stay on the fastball most of the time, but there were situations, certain pitchers, certain counts, where you just felt like, okay, no, he's going to throw this pitch here, or he's going to throw that pitch here. And I always tell hitters, it's hard to ignore a feeling. So when you have that feeling, I feel like you should probably just stick with it and see what happens. I know David Ortiz talks a lot about the six tool as the mental tool, and because that's what pitchers are doing to you. They're game planning you. They're trying to see what they can do to you to exploit your weaknesses. So as a hitter, once you play long enough and you see the game long enough, you kind of get a good feel of what they're trying to do.
Yeah, man. Yeah, when we were with the Rays, I remember we were throwing batting practice to you, and you knew there was going to be a time. I can't remember which year it was, but you knew that the guys were going to throw you more inside, and you knew that there was going to be a possibility that they were going to challenge you more in, and you definitely seemed to me that you had a good idea, because I didn't know you when you were with the Dodgers. I only knew you when you were with the Rays, and you seemed like you have a really good idea of what was going on, what the pitcher was going to try to do to you, and then eventually I saw you, I called you later and like, so did you know that pitch was coming? You pulled the ball that was in and hit it in, 20 rows back into right field, and you're like, yep, I had a feeling he was going to throw it in, and
right.
Knowing pitchers' tendencies is so important, and I think that's huge. What you said, the more at bats you get, the more you should be ready to kind of have a plan against the pitcher a little bit. So.
Yeah, I mean, pitchers, for the most part, they want to, make you beat them, on a pitch they feel you can't hit. They're probably going to keep throwing it until you prove them otherwise. So that's the biggest thing. I pitched in high school too, and just kind of having that feel from that mindset, I think helps me a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, obviously some people, they love to mix it up, but no pitcher has 10 pitches, so you can kind of limit. You kind of limit to certain pitches that you feel are going to come.
And we've talked hitting a lot. My last couple of questions are just kind of, there's a lot of young kids that are going to watch the podcast, a lot of pro, college guys. What's your advice for young hitters? Because you hit 285 or 284 career in the big leagues, had 1,400 hits. I mean, you played 10 years, 4 different teams. You're basically the model for consistency. What's your advice for young hitters, and where would you start if you had to do a lesson with a kid?
Yeah, like if I had the first lesson.
Yeah, exactly.
I would definitely watch the kid a little bit and see what he's doing, and then just really talk to the kids about what they're thinking about up there. Because a lot of times, especially younger kids, they're just kind of swinging, and they're not really focusing on where the ball is, and they're not really focused on even how the ball should come off the bat. So my biggest thing is hitting line drives, and that doesn't necessarily mean a low line drive. It can be a high line drive. It could even be a home run. So my biggest thing is, all right, let's find the back of the net. Let's see where's that base hit line drive that we want, and really letting kids kind of feel out how to get there. Because a lot of times we give instruction of do this, do that, and then now you have 5 different things in your head instead of letting the kid kind of figure it out on their own and getting that feel. Because when the ball's coming from in the big leagues, you only have like 0.4 of a second to react, so there's not a lot of thinking going on.
Totally. Yeah, man. I mean, you did a really good job throughout your whole career of attacking the inner half of the ball, and it's something that is a big teach for us at Canyonside. We want to teach hitters to have that compact swing, ability to hit the ball to all fields. Would you say that, because we've talked hitting before and you've talked about how you attack the inner half, would you say that's probably one of the most important things for you as a hitter to do as far as, as when you attack the baseball?
Well, I think it gives hitters kind of a mindset and a feel of, where the swing needs to go. And even if they don't hit the inside of the ball necessarily, it's just probably the thought process of like, okay, this is how the swing, should feel,
right,
the whole way.
Right.
And it's cut off their swings. They'll hit the ball and they'll kind of cut it off, which I've done that in the past too. So, you kind of get that feel like, okay, wait, I got to keep going. I got to keep going, all the way because, especially in the big leagues, the ball moves a lot. you might think it's in one position, and then the ball moves on you. So you want to have that swing where you can stay on the ball as long as you can.
Totally. Yeah, I remember there was a couple months you came in before spring training and you did not pull one ball to the right side of the field for it must I mean I specifically remember it because it was like a couple months of us hitting and there was not one rollover to the pull side. It was everything
Yeah.
through the ball, everything to the middle of the field. That was pretty impressive, man. So that was one thing that stuck with me as I watched you hit. I tell this story all the time to guys. Like, if you can learn to kind of create that discipline,
Yeah.
it's definitely huge.
Yeah, I think it helps just because, especially even on the inside pitch, it's like, you don't want to hit the ball foul. You'd like to keep the ball fair and hit it hard. So I think keeping your swing through the ball will help, with that. A lot of times, we see an inside pitch and we just want to yank it, and now it's a foul ball, now it's a strike. Versus a pitch, if it was in a good location, we could keep fair. It's a possible homer or double or whatever.
Totally. Is there any guys you particularly are liking to watch these days? Any teams that you follow at all?
I mean, I remember this Joey Votto quote. I think he's only pulled 3 balls foul in his whole career.
Yeah.
We grew up playing against each other a lot. So he's a guy that hits the ball, fields hits for power,
Right.
and hits average. So and he's just a tough out. He chokes up with 2 strikes. He just plays the game, all around. Plays good defense. So yeah, he's one of the guys that I think guys really like watching. So.
Definitely, yeah. He's definitely one of the better hitters of our generation. People are gonna
Yeah.
enjoy watching him for the next couple of years. Well, last question of the day, man. You had
Yeah.
a couple career games that I wanted to just hear your thoughts on. You went 4 for 5 with 9 RBIs against the Rockies,
Yeah.
and you had a grand slam in the NLDS in 2008. Would you say either of those are on your top moments in your playing career? Or?
Yeah, definitely. I think the Grand Slam is even up there a little higher, just because we went into Chicago. I think they had the most wins in baseball that year, and we actually swept them. So just to have that playoff feel that was my second time in my career. Just the emotions from the Grand Slam and just being able to sweep them.
Right.
Was
that was against Ryan Dempster? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the pitch was?
Yeah, it was a split finger.
Split finger.
I swung at it twice in the dirt, and then he had me to 2 strikes. He threw a high fastball, and then I knew he was throwing another split.
That's awesome.
Even though he probably knew I knew it was coming, I think if he kept it down where he wanted it, it wouldn't have been the same result.
Right.
So, but he left it up.
Yeah, that's a great story.
Yeah.
Well, hey, all good stuff from you, man. I really appreciate your time, dude. Tell the family I say hi, and